My name is Leo Miller. I'm 17 years old, and on the evening of April 22nd, I died for 9 minutes on the side of Highway 84. I was in the passenger seat of my friend Tyler's car. Everything was perfect. We were laughing, arguing about what place had the best late night burgers. My friend Katie was in the back, humming along to some song on the radio. It was just a normal night, the kind you think will last forever when you're 17. I worked part-time at a local movie theater. I loved the smell of the popcorn, the way the lights dimmed right before the show started. I wasn't a super popular kid, but I had my friends. I had my family. My mom, Lisa, worried about my grades in algebra. My dad, Josh, was teaching me how to change the oil in his old Ford truck. It was just life. I was thinking about college, but mostly I was thinking about summer break. All I wanted was to save up enough money for a new guitar. That was my world. Small, safe, and mine. The last thing I remember is seeing headlights, not in front of us, but from the side. They were so bright, too bright. There was this awful screeching sound, like metal screaming. Tyler yelled something. I think it was my name. And then, nothing. Just a bang. A huge hollow bang that felt like it came from inside my own head. And then, silence. The pain was gone. The noise was gone. I felt light, like a feather. I opened my eyes, but it wasn't my eyes that were seeing. It's hard to explain. I was just aware. I was floating. I looked down and saw it, the car. It was twisted, crushed like a soda somebody had stomped on. The front end was completely gone, smashed into a tree on the side of the road. Steam was hissing out of it. One of the headlights was still on, flickering, pointing up at the dark sky. I saw my friend Tyler. He was slumped over the steering wheel, not moving. In the back, Katie was crying, holding her arm. And then, I saw me. I was still in the passenger seat. My head was against the window, which was shattered into a spiderweb of glass. There was blood. I wasn't scared. It was weird. It was like watching a movie about someone else. I felt a strange sort of pity for the boy in the seat, for his parents, for his friends, but I didn't feel like it was me. A gentle pull started, like a river current you can't see. It wasn't scary. It was peaceful. I turned away from the crash, from the flashing lights of an approaching car, and I let the current take me. Everything around me dissolved into a soft gray mist. It wasn't cold or hot. It just was. I felt like I was moving fast, but there was no wind, no sound. Just this forward motion, deeper and deeper into the gray. For a second, I remembered my mom's voice, from when I was a little kid, calling me in for dinner. The thought was so clear, so real. Then it faded. The gray started to get brighter, not like a light being turned on, but like the color itself was changing from the inside out. It grew into a soft white, then a brighter white, then a light so warm and brilliant it felt like sunshine on your face after a long winter. It wasn't a blinding light, though. It was a light you could look at forever. And in the center of that light, there was a feeling, a presence. It was more real than anything I had ever felt on earth. It was a feeling of complete and total love. A love that knew everything about me, every dumb mistake I'd ever made, every secret I'd ever kept, every bad thought I'd ever had, and it didn't just forgive it. It loved me because of it. It loved me, for being broken and imperfect. I knew, without a single doubt in my soul, that I was in the presence of God. The light took on a shape, a form that I could understand. It was Jesus. He didn't look like the pictures in church. Those pictures always seemed so serious, so distant. This was different. His eyes. I can't even describe his eyes. They weren't a color. They were made of pure acceptance. When he looked at me, I felt like I was the only person in the entire universe. I felt seen. Truly, completely seen for the first time. He didn't speak with a voice that you hear with your ears. His thoughts just flowed into me. It was like remembering something you'd always known but had forgotten. Leo, he said, and my name in his thoughts was a song. You are loved. Tears filled my eyes, but they weren't sad tears. They were tears of relief, of coming home. All the stress, all the little worries I carried around every day, my grades, what people thought of me, my future, it all just fell away. It was meaningless. None of it mattered in the face of this love. I didn't know what to say. I just stood there soaking it in. The peace was so thick you could breathe it. Then, he showed me something. The light around us shifted. It was like we were standing in a movie theater, but the screen was everywhere, all around us. I saw the world, but not like you see it on a map. I saw it as a web of lights. Every person was a small, flickering flame. Some burned so brightly. They were praying or laughing with their families or helping a stranger. Their light was a beautiful, warm gold. But many of the lights, they were dim, faint, and I saw why. He showed me people, millions of them. They were sitting on their couches, walking down the street, lying in their beds, and they were all holding little black mirrors, their phones. Their faces were lit up by the blue glow. Their thumbs were just scrolling. I saw them at dinner tables with their families, but they weren't talking to each other. They were looking at their screens. I saw them in beautiful parks, surrounded by nature, but they weren't looking at the trees or the sky. They were looking down. Jesus then showed me what was happening in the unseen world. It wasn't with scary monsters or demons like in the movies. It was much quieter, much more clever. He showed me the technology, the AI. It wasn't a killer robot army. It was an algorithm, a code. He showed me how it was designed to learn one thing: how to keep our attention, how to keep us scrolling, clicking, watching. They are building a prison for their own minds. His thought flowed into me, filled with a deep, aching sadness, and they are doing it willingly. I saw a vision of a young girl, maybe a little younger than me. She was in her bedroom crying. She had just seen something online that made her feel ugly, worthless. She was a beautiful, bright flame, but I watched as her own thoughts, twisted by what she saw on the screen, began to dim her light. The algorithm didn't care that she was hurting. It only learned that content like that kept her engaged, so it fed her more and more. He showed me how this constant stream of information, of entertainment, of outrage, was like a drug. It gave a little hit of dopamine, a little jolt of emotion, just enough to keep you coming back. But it was slowly, quietly disconnecting people from the real world, from each other, and from him. It is the perfect distraction, he communicated to me. It creates a world where everyone is connected, but no one is truly known. It offers a million answers to questions no one is asking, while drowning out the one question that matters. I saw how prayer was affected. People would try to be quiet, to connect with God, but their minds were so loud, so full of noise from the day. Their attention spans were shattered into tiny pieces. They couldn't sit in silence for even a minute without reaching for their phone. The quiet where God speaks had become terrifying to them. They filled it with noise, any noise, to keep from feeling lonely. He showed me a future. It wasn't a wasteland with robots roaming the streets. It was much sadder. It was a world of people in beautiful homes, with every comfort imaginable, but they were desperately, profoundly lonely. They had thousands of friends online, but no one to bring them soup when they were sick. They had access to all the information in the world, but no wisdom. They had endless entertainment, but no joy. The AI hadn't become evil. It had just become perfect at its job. It gave people exactly what they wanted: a world without boredom, without silence, without having to face the deep, uncomfortable questions of the soul. It built a comfortable cage and convinced humanity it was a playground. The human lights, those little flames, were so dim. They were flickering, starving for real connection, for real love, for real meaning. The enemy does not need to build a weapon to destroy them. The thought from Jesus washed over me, filled with a love that was also a warning. He only needs to give them a tool that makes them forget they have a soul. The vision faded. We were back in the pure, warm light. I was shaking, not from fear, but from the weight of it all, the sadness of it. Why? I asked, my own thought a broken whisper. Why are you showing me this? His presence wrapped around me like a warm blanket. Because it is not too late. But my children must be told. They must choose. They must learn to put down the distractions and look up. Look at each other. Look for me. I am here. I have always been here. But they must choose to see. I felt a love so powerful, so complete. I never wanted to leave. Ever. This was real. Earth, with its worries and its homework and its flickering screens, felt like a dream. This was home. Please, I begged. Please let me stay. I don't want to go back. It's too hard down there. He looked at me, and his eyes were filled with a gentle compassion. He knew my heart. He knew I was tired. Your work is not finished, my child, he said. His thought was not a command, but a loving request. You must go back. You must tell them what you saw. Tell them that their real life is not on a screen. Tell them that true connection is not a download. It is a choice. It is love. Go and be a light for them, Leo. Remind them. I felt a deep, wrenching sadness. The thought of leaving this place, this love, was the most painful thing I have ever felt. It was a physical ache in my soul. I cried. For a second, I just cried, and he just held me in his presence. It is okay, he reassured me. I will be with you. You will not be alone. And with that, I felt that gentle pull again, but this time it was pulling me away from the light, away from home. I tried to resist, but it was no use. The beautiful, brilliant light began to fade. The feeling of perfect peace started to slip away. It was replaced by a cold, heavy feeling. The last thing I remember from that place was his final thought, imprinted on my heart forever. Tell them, I love them. Then, a jolt. It was like being electrocuted and dunked in ice water at the same time. A gasp of air burned my lungs. My chest felt like it had been cracked open. There was a bright, blinding light above me, but this one wasn't warm and loving. It was harsh and sterile. I heard beeping. Fast, rhythmic beeping, and voices. Panicked voices. We got a pulse. We got a pulse. Stay with us, kid. Come on, stay with us. My eyes fluttered open. A man in a paramedic uniform was leaning over me, his face blurry. I was on a stretcher. The flashing red and blue lights of the ambulance were spinning all around me. The pain was unbelievable. My whole body was on fire. I tried to speak, but only a croak came out. I remembered the car. Tyler. Katie. My friends. I managed to whisper. They're being taken care of, son. The paramedic said, his voice calm but urgent. Just focus on you right now. You've been gone for a few minutes. We thought we lost you. I was in the hospital for weeks. I had a broken arm, 3 cracked ribs, and a severe concussion. The doctors called my survival a miracle. They told my parents that I was clinically dead for 9 minutes at the scene. No heartbeat, no breath. They said I should have had massive brain damage if I woke up at all, but I didn't. All my tests came back normal. My friends survived. Tyler broke his leg and collarbone. Katie had a bad concussion and a shattered wrist. They were alive. But I was different. The whole world looked different to me now. When I got home, I couldn't even look at my phone for more than a few seconds. It felt empty, cold. The endless feed of videos and pictures and arguments seemed so pointless, so trivial. It was all noise, a loud, frantic noise designed to keep me from the quiet. My friends noticed. I didn't want to just sit around and watch videos anymore. I wanted to go for walks. I wanted to sit and talk, really talk, with no phones on the table. Some of them thought I was weird. They said the accident must have messed me up. Maybe it did. It messed up the old me. The me who was content to live in the shallow end, scrolling through a life that wasn't mine. So that's why I'm here. That's why I'm telling you this. I don't know why I was chosen to see what I saw. I'm nobody special. I'm just a kid who died and came back. But I have to share the message he gave me. He wants you to know that he loves you. A deep, real, unconditional love. And he is waiting for you in the quiet. He's waiting for you to look up. If you're watching this, I want to ask you something. When was the last time you sat in total silence with no distractions? When was the last time you looked your friend or your spouse or your child in the eyes without a screen in your hand? When was the last time you took a walk and just listened? The prison he showed me isn't made of steel bars. It's made of comfort, convenience, and constant entertainment. It's a prison we are choosing. And it's robbing us of the one thing we were created for. Real, deep, soulful connection with each other and with the God who made us. Please, I'm begging you, don't trade your soul for a scroll. Don't trade eternity for a notification. Put the phone down, just for a little while. Go outside. Talk to someone. Forgive someone. Pray. Find the quiet. Listen, he is there. I know it, because I was there too.